Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a new series from Chequered Endurance Group, the British Formula 3 here at Thruxton today. Fast pace circuit we have to start the season. We start with a round of 25-minute race. It'll be 25-minute races all season, and slight departure from what we're normally used to, running what was supposed to be the 6 hours of Road Atlanta last week. This is for people who just want something a bit quicker to fill the gap between WSCC. British Formula 3 cars, the Tatuus MSV F3 car is in action today. Fast-paced car with quite a bit of power and quite a bit of downforce, so something a little bit new for everyone, I believe. We're partway through qualifying here. Currently we have Lucas Muller at the front of the field with a 108.074, and we have Daniel Damari with a 108.234 behind him, and then following behind is Turk Hakkinen, a 108 point something, because it's just changed on my screen. Yeah, whoops, that's not right. So it's it's going to be very interesting to see how people cope with these cars, especially around this track. And it's at very high speed, not a lot of huge braking zones. You've only got a few places to overtake in the chicanes. So it will be very interesting to see who can pull this off. So let me just bring up some live timing, possibly, so I can see what's going on. So who do we have on the screen in front of us at the moment? That is the number 15 car, which is driven by Tobias Thiel, who is currently quite far down the field. He's at P20 at the moment. He has a 117.311, so he's going to be looking to improve that there. He's a long way off the back of the field, so let's see if he can improve that at all. Forward to the front of the field here. So I believe this is your leader. This is Lucas Muller at the moment, who has the fastest time. So let's see if we can hop on board with him and see what this track is like from the driver's perspective. So I think we're about just into the beginning of the lap here. As you can see, slipstream is going to be a very important part of this race. Three-quarters of the lap is at full throttle, and you'll want to stay there and get as much speed as you can from the car in front. So if you've got someone in front of you during qualifying, you are definitely going to benefit from that. So it's coming up into the first section now. He's got very, very out of shape coming out of the final chicane, but here we go, starting a lap and through to turn 1, which is quite a high-speed right-hander. Very easy to go off onto the grass on the left-hand side, then fast sweeping left into your first big braking zone into turn 3, and then through left again out of that chicane. And now here comes the full throttle section, which is the most spectacular part of this track. Undulating surface going down here, still full throttle coming down left-hander, still full throttle coming down the big sweeping right now past the marshal's post, and we're still full throttle, 6th gear, the top of the rev range at about 8,000 RPM. A bit of a blend, no blend coming through the kink there, and we're coming up into the final braking zone, the final chicane now. And let's see if we can get a better exit out of the chicane here, using all of the curves that you can and a bit more. Ooh, out of shape on the exit. That's on the grass. That's going to put him into a bit of a spin. No, he's held it, well held there from Lucas Muller. So, good start. He's going to look to improve that, because Daniel Damari is slowly closing in, and people are starting to get a lot quicker coming down the field. So this will be Daniel Damari here in Team RSI car, number 23. Fantastic livery they've got on that, as he's shown going rally crossing in the Formula 3 car. Then we have Matthew Clipp here in the Royal Blue car, number 13. So that's a very nice looking car. Lots of nice looking liveries to be seen on the track today. Then we have Valtteri Kyler. I probably butchered that. I do apologise if we do butcher anybody's names. It's just a thing that happens at CFEG. So that's your top 4 at the moment, and the top 5 we have here. That's David Kaloksai in the number 24 car. Rather British police looking livery on there with a very shaky camera angle. So that's your top 5. We have 3 minutes of qualifying left, so they only get about 3 laps at most from now to set a good time. So we'll see what they can do in that sense. So that's Valtteri going way off into the distance. Turka Hakkinen here in the other royal blue car. He's not got his own livery for this event because it was very late entrance. As of this afternoon he entered. So fortunately we can't see his own livery, so he is also the number 13 car, which might get confusing. Danny Robbins here in the PMK Simsport racing car, number 16 car. Again, a very bright coloured livery with a very Finnish flag on the rear wing. And same livery for his teammates. I believe that's James Hamilton in 8th. Number 10 car. There's been some changes in the field there. Thomas Thiel's up. He's actually set a representative lap time. Thankfully, so he's now in 7th place. Putting his car there. So Thomas Thiel again in the number 15 Enjoy Motorsport car. His number 18 car, that's James Hamilton in Team Schmokin entry. He's coming out of the pits. He's going to look to set one more time, maybe 2 if he can get there in time, it looks like. But at the moment, Lucas Muller is on pole and not being challenged at the moment by Daniel Vidmari. We'll see if he can actually get any closer. So here is Daniel Vidmari. Is he on a lap at the moment? He is. He's set a fastest sector 1 time. Let's see if he can improve on that. Sector 2 was not his quickest, but we'll see if he can get through final corner now. Does he improve? He does not. He stays second place. That last lap was 108.331, so that's about a 10th slower than his best time. He'll be looking to improve that if he can. Here's your leader coming through the final turn now. Can he improve on his time? He can. He goes 107.977, so that's the first car into the 107s for this event. So a fantastic lap there from Lucas Muller, and he's going to try and set one more time so he can go that a little bit quicker. But 10 seconds after the session, unless you're crossing the finish line now, this is going to be your final lap, so it needs to be a good one. Matthew Clipp in the number 13 Royal Blue Racing car in 4th place. He has set a personal best sector 1. So let's go to him if we can. Is this him? Yes, it is. It's not an improvement in sector 2 though. Lucas Muller can't improve his sector 1 times either. He's only managed a 25.309 as a first sector. Big lock up in front of whoever was in front of Matthew Clipp there into the final chicane. And that's a mistake there for Matthew Clipp, and he's going to abandon that lap, so that's his time. He is 4th in the standings, so your top 4 confirmed here at the moment as Lucas Muller in the number 94 F1 Bros Racing car, Daniel Vidmari in the number 23 Team RSI car, and David Kaloksai in the number 24 stock liveried car there. So that's your qualifying. Just a couple of people left to come around. I think one more, Fabio Zabetto, number 01 entry. He has just finished his lap and he's managed just a 109 point something there, so he's not going to improve on his time. So this is your grid for the start of the race. We'll go for a 5-minute warm-up session, just while everyone gets used to putting the driving the car on full fuel and getting used to the cold tyres, and then we go to the 25-minute race around Thruxton track, and it's going to be an interesting race. It's all going to be down to who can utilise the slipstream the best. Lucas Muller, he is in a disadvantage being on the front row because he's not going to have anyone to follow. He's going to get swallowed up by everybody else who is who has a slipstream. So we have to watch and see if he can actually get away from the pack. But qualifying's one challenge, and the race is another. So we'll have to wait and see who can pull that out of the bag. So people just waiting at the entrance or the exit of the pits, getting their practice starts done. It looks like there. That's number 16 car. I believe no, it's number 18. That's the shaky camera. It's making it impossible to read. That's James Hamilton. He's gone out. I think he's trying to do a couple of practice starts on the pit exit. Who else is out on the track at the moment? I apologise, I'm flicking through everybody. It's number 1 car. So that was who was that? That's Fabio Zabetto. So that's just a stock liveried Tatuus MSV F3 0116. Oh, 016 I should say. That's the model of the car. He goes for a very, very pretty spin. So these are used in real life as the support series, essentially for the British GT. So a lot of young British drivers looking to move up in the world of single-seat racing, Formula Racing, will compete in this series. I believe the likes of Lando Norris has competed in the real-life counterpart of this series. Probably a couple of others, but I couldn't tell you. But yeah, they are very quick little cars, and it's very impressive to see them go around high-speed corners in real life, and hopefully that can be nicely replicated in the sim. That's number 88 car there, struggling to get the power down. A big lockup as well. Ooh, the tyres are cold. You need to be very careful of that. So that's Nick Newcomb in the number 88 Northeastern Racing team. Struggling to get used to the cold tyres. That is something they'll need to take extra care of. Warm-up lap is vital, that they get all the power, all the temperature into the tyres, into the brakes that they need, especially the brakes, as they're going to be cooling constantly through the back section of this circuit. There's about 75 to 80% of this lap, if not more, is at full throttle. So the brakes will get very cold, and they'll need to keep an eye on that, especially on lap 1 when everything's a little bit bunched up and everyone's a little bit tetchy. Snagging a brake in these cars is very easy. They've got very powerful brakes for the weight of the cars. So you don't want to be coming into one of these chicanes, which it's definitely not easy chicanes to brake at either. You see, if you go, we look at the Lucas Muller here, the braking zones aren't necessarily straight lines. So getting the braking right for these chicanes is difficult, but it is vital for a good lap time, especially the exit. If you get the exit wrong coming out of that first chicane, then you are losing speed for the majority of the lap. Unless you can somehow get into somebody's slipstream, then that's your lap gone effectively. So you can make or break your lap after turn 3. So, hello to everyone in the chat. Nice to see quite a few people along. Let us know what you think of the stream, and if you want to know more, if you're not part of the series, head over to our website and our Discord channel, which is in the video description, I believe. We have 2 series currently running at the moment, this and the World Sports Car Challenge, which is our flagship series, endurance series featuring LMP2 cars and GT3 cars. So the racing for that series has been very close and very hectic So definitely want to watch the next round being at Autopolis next Sunday. Whoops, that's not supposed to be there. Hello everyone. So as you can see, I am very organised when it comes to live streaming. I am the best commentator you'll ever see. So 30 seconds until the race session begins. Only 3 cars actually setting representative lap times at the moment. We'll have to wait and see if that actually translates into race pace, but Lucas Muller there is storming away from everyone else with a 108.8, which is fairly quick still. So we'll see if he can translate that into the race, but it's going to be very difficult for him to pull away, especially when everyone else is in the slipstream, as someone's he's collecting a front wing and a sign, so someone's had a very big accident there that we've missed. So everyone's just completing their laps now, and we'll be on to the race session. It's very difficult to know at this stage who is. Always forget how loud that announcer is. Yeah, it's very difficult to see who's actually going to have a decent lap pace around here, because this is the first time we've used these cars in the league history. So we don't know who is in tune with these cars, who's quick, who isn't, but we will definitely see. So lining up on the grid, ready for the formation lap in 1 minute's time. This is where the nerves start to set in for everybody now. You want to focus on getting a good start, focus on getting into the slipstream of the car ahead if you have a car ahead of you, and if you are Lucas Muller, you are going to think, how am I going to maintain this lead? What's my strategy? Do you hold out at the back, behind, maybe in second or third place, and wait until the end of the race before you make your move? Because there's no pit stops in this race. You can go the full distance on tyres and fuel. So it's going to be vital that your race strategy, not necessarily the pit stop strategy, but your race strategy is on point. So do you hold back and wait for the final minutes to make your move and pull away, or do you want to just make your move immediately and try and build that gap? But again, going to be very difficult with the slipstream down the back end of the circuit. But also dirty air is something to think about as well. Not necessarily as bad as Formula 1, but these cars do get upset by the dirty air coming off of the cars ahead, as we now set off for the formation lap. So here's number 15 car of Tobias Teal. The game seems to like putting him in the limelight, so no pressure there, Tobias. So we'll start to see all the cars now just putting the temperature into the tyres, into the brakes, get the pressures up, and try and keep the pressure in the cockpit, especially in the driver's mind, to a minimum. So here's Lucas Muller. Just run through quickly the field before we start the race. So Lucas Muller in first place there in the number 94 F1 Bros Racing team. Nice scene entry for them alongside WSCC. Then behind them we have Daniel Vidamari in Team RSI number 23 car. It would be nice to see if he can get any further. That's a very, very nice looking car they've got in the series this evening. Behind them, David Kaloksai in number 24, just Tatuus standard livery. It's good qualifying for him, getting to third place. Fourth place, we have Matthew Clipp in number 13, Royal Blue Racing car. And then behind them, we have Valtteri Kyler in the number 16 car. So that's your top 5. Then we have Turk Hakkinen, Tobias Teal, Danny Robbins, James Hamilton, Fabio Zabetto, Daniel Sontag, Massimiliano Riboli,
E2 Hakkinen, Christian Lewis, Alicia Filito, Lucas Zimmerman, Joe Watts, Nick Newcomb, Rafael Carbelido, and Stefano Grassi rounding out the grid. So here we go, lining up on the grid now. The front row will be hoping that all the cars behind queue up as soon as they possibly can, because the tyres are going to be cooling, the brakes are going to be cooling, the engine's going to get hotter. Lights are going on, the green flag's raised, and we're away. Oh, it looks like it's a terrible start there for Lucas Muller. He bogs down off the line, he's right down the order, so he's back down into fifth. There's someone off into the barriers. Who was that? It looks like it's possibly Danny Robbins. He's right down at the back, and there's carnage at the back of the field. Let's see what's going on here. They go 2 wide and 3 wide into the first chicane. There's damage there. Oh, look at that. Who's that damage? And Danny Robbins looks like he's already out of the race, so that is a terrible start for him. But Danny Vinvari from second place now leading, and Turka Hakkinen, a big gainer in the number 16 car, the other 16 car we have. Well, 4 positions. So Lucas Muller unfortunately had a dreadful start. He bogged down as soon as the lights went green, and it was just, yeah, it looked like it caused Constantino effect behind him, but it's a shame that Danny Robbins isn't able to get past the first corner. Race control will be looking into that incident, but we have possibly a move behind here. Tobias Thiel, he's under pressure from Valtteri Kalila behind the 2 wide, and they've made contact. Are they going to... Ooh, that was close. There was contact, and again, race control might want to look into that one. Bang of wheels and it causing Tobias to go off the track. He's also lost another position. He's gone on. He's gone round. Tooth gone round, avoid action. That's a massive incident for Tobias Thiel. Can he get the car underway? What kind of damage does he have? Terrible, terrible there. Again, a wheel on the grass and just losing the car, and that's a terrible place to do it as there's smoke ahead. Oh, that's number 55 car. Going very, very... And there's someone else round as well. Who was that? This is carnage. What's going on, guys? So number 1 car. So that is Fabio Zabito. He is well down the order as well. Going further up the field here. We'll see what's going on at the front of your field today. So, oh, here's a battle here. This is your pole sitter going toe to toe, and good move round the final chicane there, and that puts Lucas Muller into second place and chasing down Danny Robbins with lovely lag. Now, can Lucas Muller dive into that slipstream of Vidimari in front and pull along Turka Hakkinen with him? So Turka has had a fantastic start to the race, gaining 3 positions into the 3rd place at the moment. This is where the slipstream comes in. Let's go to Turka behind and get an onboard view. Let's see if there's any decent views we can see here. This is a nice view. You can see it's just constant full throttle throughout the most of the race. Look at that. It looks like Lucas Muller's trying to break the slipstream, and Danny Vidmari as well. So tactics already going on here. Is any closing not to be close enough? Is Turka Hakkinen into the final chicane? Vital, get this right. He's got a lot of that very banked curve. It really upsets the car, but that's the quickest way to do it. Let's see, is Lucas Muller a little bit closer? He is a bit closer. He's within half a second of Vidimari. And it looks like there might be a little bit of lap traffic ahead, as Stefano Grassi has unfortunately also DNF, so I'm not sure what happened there. It's getting closer now and you lead the race. Muller wants that position back, but is he going to hold off until the end of the race? Still got 20 minutes of this race to go. Vidimari looks like he is breaking the slipstream ever so slightly, or trying to. They are getting a little bit closer. Actually, there's a bit more of a gap here. It looks like Vidimari's got a little bit more top speed
than Lucas Muller. Maybe the dirty air affecting him through those high-speed corners. But underbraking into the final chicane here. Oh, a lot of those anti-cut curves upsetting Muller's car. That's putting him back a tenth or so. And then Hakkinen just behind is just waiting in the wings to see what happens of this. So further down your field, we've got any more action going on. The two royal blue cars sandwiching one of the PMK cars. Bit of a lock-up there from, I believe, that was possibly Daniel Sontag. Behind them, there's a very interesting looking other Team RSI entry, the number 8 car. So that's Alicio Felito. So he is, he's had a very good start, actually gaining 8 positions off the start. So he's the big gainer from the start there, and the carnage that ensued at turn 1 and afterwards. So number 86, Christian Lewis. A throwback to the HRT livery. This could be you. I love that. Number 25 car. That's E2 Hakkinen. And then your top 10. Your 10th place car, Joe Watts, I believe. Or not, actually. I might be getting lost. But so everything seems to have calmed down ever so slightly in the back of the field. That's Lucas Zimmerman as well, DNFing, so that's unfortunate for them. But it's spicing up at the front of the field here. Danny Vinimari is only a third of a second ahead of Lucas Muller behind. Lucas Muller definitely does have the pace, and they are both pulling away from Turk Hakkinen behind, so this is going to be a fantastic fight, I believe. So let's see what can come of this. There's a little bit more of a gap opening through the faster sections. Looks like Muller can't quite hold the speed that Danny Vinimari can. Maybe the dirty air just stopping him going right onto his gearbox. But definitely closing through the final chicane. Maybe close enough to make a move into turns 2 and 3. It's getting very close. Right on the gearbox now is Muller. Less than a quarter of a second behind. Can he make a move here? He's not quite close enough. Big lock up there, I believe, from Vinimari. It's not going to help his tyres in the long run. They're still fighting here. Here we go. Well within the slipstream is Muller going to try and make a move through the fast sweeping section. Is he alongside? Looks like he's trying to get a wheel, but just about closed the door there is Daniel Vinimari. Let's go on board, see what this looks like from Muller's point of view, from the front of the car. Using a lot of the curbs is Muller just to try and get that little bit of an advantage. He's well within the slipstream, but doesn't look like he's quite closing. Maybe the slipstream's not as powerful as first thought. Vinimari going defensive, closing and parking it on the apex just to make sure that Muller can't get a run. Oh, a bit of an untidy exit from Muller there as he comes onto the start-finish straight and through the first corner. That's going to hurt him all the way up to the chicane here. He's going to need a very good exit. Oh, and very good entry, but there's just an Team RSI Formula 3 car just parked where he wants to be going. Very good defensive driving from Vinimari. Can he continue to hold this for the next 16 minutes? That's the question. Or is Lucas Muller just holding back that little bit? We'll have to wait and see as we come towards the final stage of the race. But they have just pulled a massive gap on Turk Hakkinen behind now. Looks like that's about 3 seconds or so, if not a bit more. Yeah, 3.2 seconds they have. So even with all the fighting they are doing, they're still quicker than the rest of the field. So going further down, is there any more battles we can have a look at? We'll keep an eye on the leaders, obviously. Here's Tobias Thiel there, who is currently in 12th place, getting chased down by Fabio Zabito, the number 1 car. It's a good looking car, number 15 car, I do like it. Is there going to be a move coming up here? How brave is Fabio Zabito? Coming into the final chicane. He looks like he's just about too far away here. Yep, and he's got the position held for now. So further back seems a little bit calmer. It's everyone else in the pit. But oh, here's the battle still hotting up at the front. We'll keep an eye on this for now. Lucas Muller is very close. It's not a very easy track to overtake on his Thruxton because it is so fast. And you only really have 2 opportunities. You go into the final chicane now. It's on the 8th lap of the race. Again, Vidimari going defensive, just making sure there is no room whatsoever for Lucas Muller to get through. Best laps between the two are very marginal. It's only just Lucas Muller is being quicker by 300ths of a second, I should say. But they're getting very close again into the first chicane. Who's going to get the better exit, which is going to help them all the way down into Sector 2. Very even still. Muller still is within the slipstream, but the dirty air through these fast sweeping corners isn't going to be helping him at all. There is absolutely no way to get around anybody coming through there. It's one line or you go off into the English countryside. Still full throttle. Such a hard work on these engines. You are at the rev limiter for so long. Coming down to the big braking zone at the bottom of the track. Again, defensive move from Vidimari. He's got that down. I wonder if Lucas Muller can find a way around. It's going to have to be one very daring move if he does pull it off. Fantastic racing between these two. Oh, that was very close to being contact there, I believe. Lucas Muller, he's getting right on the back of the gearbox. He's so close. Got to be very careful not to knock that wing on the rear wheels, because God knows what can happen to it, especially with Rfactor2 physics sometimes. So close coming through these fast sweeping corners, but there's just nowhere Lucas Muller can get around Daniel Vidimari. Vidimari's in a fantastic position where he's just got to keep it on the track and keep his lines and just defend in the braking zones, because Muller just can't seem to find a way through. Again into the big braking zone. Vidimari again his trademark move at this stage of parking it on the inside. It's a bit more of a gap here. It's about half a second just about between these two, so Muller didn't quite have the best exit out of the chicane, it looks like. This will give Vidimari some well needed breathing room. Oh, he's got it very wrong there. Well held though, but that's put Lucas Muller right alongside, and he's going to storm past for the lead. So that was a terrible mistake. Oh, and Lucas Muller's off. What happened there? He's all that work and he's gone and ruined it. So he's still in second place, but that's going to put Turkakin right on his tail. But can Muller use that speed, because his tyres are going to be dirty and they're going to be a little bit hot from the slide. You have to be very careful coming into the braking zone at the end of the track. Can Turkakin capitalise on that mistake and try and pull off a second? He's got a very commanding podium here, but you always want more. But Vidimari is gone now. He is 3 seconds up the road. It's all down to Lucas Muller and Turkakin to catch that orange and grey car. There's a gap forming between the two cars now. Can Muller pull this back? Do we think 3 points? Well, about 3 seconds between first and second place. It looks like we've had another DNF in David Koloksai at some point. That's unfortunate to see. But the gaps are starting to spread now between all the field. Let's see who we've got here. So this is Matthew Clipp in 4th place. A very strong outing for him and a very shiny looking royal blue racing car. Nice chrome effects down the side of the car. The metallic flake I see as well. Very nice. Then we have Valtteri Kyler in the other number 16 car, following closely behind. And Daniel Sontag there in number 48. Royal blue car. Lucio Filito, again, the quiet capitalist of this race, getting 8 positions from his starting place in the Team RSI car number 8. Fantastic green and chrome effect, it looks like, or shiny grey. Looks very nice in these sunny conditions. And then behind that's number 86 car. That's Christian Lewis, I believe, in the SV Racing car. Interesting red tint on that car. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like that, so that might need to be looked at for the next round, but it looks rather interesting nonetheless. And then the next car down the field, then number 25 PMK Sim Racing car, E2 Hakkinen, doing a very good job at the moment. Ooh, very sideways though, and that's putting him in the firing line of Tobias Thiel, who lost 3 places from his starting position, so not the best of starts we've seen of him so far. He's looking to do some damage recovery, it looks like. He's closing in on Hakkinen ahead, but behind them as well, Rafael Carbadello, again 8 positions gained, so he's done very well indeed. It just goes to show what you can do by just avoiding carnage. So that's number 55 car. That's number 1, quite far down there. That's number 3 car, so that's Michio Riboli. So he started in 12th place. He's now down to 14th, so not the best of races here for him, but he's just going to continue and try and get the best position he can. And these are your DNF cars. So here's Danny Vidimari in the lead still. He is the last lap he was 0.4 of a second slower than Lucas Muller. So Lucas Muller is closing in. He's within 2 seconds now, so he's closed that gap. But is he going to have enough time to close back up? Closing up's one thing, but overtaking, as we've seen, is a completely other thing. So it's a very slow car ahead, it looks like. Is that just a mistake, possibly, some of the lap traffic? But Vidimari will want to get round him as soon as possible. Lucas Muller's really closing here. He's within 1.5 seconds now, so he's had a fantastic first sector. Definitely got the speed, but looks like he might lack the consistency here. Again, just getting used to these cars. They've never been used before. Oh, there's a big spin ahead. That was one of the lap down cars. Danny Vidimari avoiding that very nicely. What can Lucas Muller do here? He's only 0.2 quicker that last lap, but he is closing, and closing very quickly on Danny Vidimari. He just needs to keep the car on the road, but he also needs to find that way around, and as we've seen from the rest of the race, that is a very difficult thing to do on this track, it looks like, especially against Danny Vidimari. You only need to defend 2 corners pretty much on this track, and there is no other opportunity to overtake. But he's very close now, just outside of a second is Lucas Muller to your leader. Very nicely painted F1 Bros Racing car there, so it's just about a second now. Probably just about within the slipstream range is Lucas Muller. Turk Hakken dropping back from this pack, but he has had a good race, gaining 3 positions from the start, so taking advantage of what would have been quite the carnage at the first corner that we missed most of, unfortunately. Still not quite able to close.
on Daniel Vidimari. So he is a lot quicker in the corners, or in the slow braking zones, but there's only 2 of them on the lap. A delicate balance to get speed and downforce on this track, because it's not just straight lines, they are quite fast sweeping turns. You do need some downforce, but it looks like Daniel Vidimari had a bad exit out of the first chicane, and he is well within the firing line of Lucas Muller again now. Well within slipstream range. Can he close in Lucas Muller and possibly make a move into the final chicane? We'll have to wait and see. Vidimari doing his best to break that slipstream just by moving offline ever so slightly. It seems to be working. The gap is remaining fairly constant at the moment, but what will happen come the chicane here? Only 4.5 minutes to go in the race. Oh, big accident there. Who's that? That's a lot of it. That's a lot of pieces. Who is that that's gone off? That looked like a massive accident. Who? God knows what happened there. So the car exploded. It looks like it's Fabio Zabita. Oh no, James Hamilton. It looks like he is DNF from 11th place. That's unfortunate. He was having a fairly decent crack at points here, but just goes to show you can't take this car lightly. It's a very fragile car. Taking too much curves will evidently blow the thing up. So back to this Bass at the front. The gaps increased by about 1/10, but not really much else in it. Very quick as Lucas Muller went a bit wide through that sweeping right-hander. To go on board for a couple of minutes. We'll see what's going on inside that car. Very top of the rev range, bouncing off the limiter almost, it looks like. Braking as much of a straight line as he can into the chicane. He is able to gain a little bit of speed through that final chicane, so Lucas Muller definitely is better on the brakes and through the twisty bits. But Daniel Vidimari has just got that speed through the back end of the circuit. Looking down the inside is Lucas Muller, causing a lockup possibly there from Daniel Vidimari. So that's going to slow him on the exit. It's going to make him very vulnerable there. It's very close between the two now. Right on the back diffuser. Alongside, are they? They are. Only just. Muller's going to have to be very careful. He backs out of that. He's not quite got the speed. Looking down the inside again. Not quite enough. This fantastic racing we've got between these two cars. Great start to the season. 2.5 minutes to go. What can Lucas Muller do to try and get that victory? From Daniel Vidimari, we'll have to see. They're still very, very close, within 0.2 of a second of each other. Into the final braking area now. Vidimari goes defensive. Alongside goes Muller. He's going to have to do something very good to get around the outside there. Oh, and they make contact! Vidimari spins. That's a terrible, terrible end to this race, and that means Turk Atkin goes into second place. So that will be reviewed, it looks like. I don't know how he was expected to make that move around the outside of that chicane, but unfortunately the two cars coming together, and that has put an end to this race. So unless Lucas Muller backs off, he's definitely not, but that will be reviewed after the race, and that leaves the results of this race now in limbo. So that could end up, if Daniel Vidimari can't get back past Turk Hakkinen, that could see, if Lucas Muller gets a penalty, that could see Turk Hakkinen take the win of this race, depending on what the results of the review are. But very hard racing from these two cars. Unfortunate to see it come to an end like that, but that's racing. Now what can Daniel Vidimari do here? Damage limitation coming on to probably the final lap of the race now. Only 48 seconds of the race left. It's all or nothing for Vidimari to get back into second now. Now further behind them, Matthew Klipp and Valtteri Kyler. Also just about to go toe-to-toe. Don't think... Oh, there's a big lock up there from Matthew Clip. That's not going to help his cause at all. Back to the second place battle. Lucas Muller has just left. He is 4 seconds ahead of Turk Hakkinen now. What can Vidimari do in this final lap? To Temric, what a fantastic race for you to start watching. Glad you can come aboard. Hopefully we'll see you on track soon. Back to the action here. Is Vidimari close enough here? He's not. Doesn't look like, unless he makes one major lunge, which he might have tried to, but as we go forwards, that's Lucas Muller taking the win in the inaugural round of the British Formula 3 series, and that's Turk Hakkinen and Daniel Vidimari coming to make your top three. Matthew Clip and Valtteri Kailer there coming back home in 4th and 5th respectively. But what a race, and that's going to leave the results of this race in question, judging on based on the review of the race of the Marshall after the race. Could be very busy, Matt, from looking at all that. First off, there is a skin template. It's in the Rfactor files somewhere. If you hop into our Discord and ask around, someone should be able to send you something. But that was a fantastic race. Many discussion points going forward. Keep an eye on our Discord for the results to be posted there once the reviews have gone in. But what a good way to start the round, or start the series, I should say. The next round being, I believe, at Brands Hatch in 2 weeks' time. So thank you very much for joining this race, and we'll hopefully see you there for the next one. Until next time, goodbye.